First stream. What's up, everybody? I have no idea what I'm doing, but Andy and James have talked me into this. So we're going to go live to them and we're going to add them to the stream. What's up, Andy?
I made you do this. That's a bit unfair. That's a bit unfair. So what you need to do, Tyler, is see if you look at your little bar on StreamYard. So there'll be an option for like two squares next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Okay.
StreamYard 101.
All right. StreamYard 101. Let me add in our third guest because he's the reason. Fantasy.
Oh, I was just checking out my fantasy cards.
James at Fantasy Cards. So you now own Fantasy Cards? Is that what it is? Is you're the new
To be
owner?
honest, I probably am the only owner of these cards.
What year were they? What year were they from, James? Was that
94, I believe?
94. That seems about right. That was very 94 hair. That looks like, Saved by the Bell era. Big crazy curls in the women.
Yeah. You realize that I spelled the name wrong. It's actually Fantasy with a Z. That's how edgy they were.
Crazy curls is what me and James are known for.
Look at this girl's just hanging out on the
that bikini seems to not be the correct size. I don't know how you feel about that, but so this is my first stream ever, and James and Andy just made me do it because they're assholes, and we're gonna go ahead and stream.
You got that bit correct.
So. Now that you guys are on my stream, you're going to have to answer my questions, James. And I can mute you when you say some shit I don't like. So
wow, look, he gets a little bit of power and it all goes to his head.
Exactly.
Wow.
Sith Lordly? What? Sith Lordly?
In the house.
Come on and jump on, Sith. Whenever you're ready, you just jump on. So... Oh, that's the first one. Yeah, I'm getting used to this, guys. First stream, but it's okay.
Pro, mate, you're like a pro.
Okay, so here's what I want to do with my stream. I want to learn about people because you guys I met through. I think the first person to ever really comment on any of my videos was Shane over at Nerd Herd, and then I found Dino and Scott and Phil. And Seth, and now I have Andy and James and Charlie and everybody. I've met all these people, so I want to really dive into what you guys. So Andy, you and James used to work together, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. When did you start getting into comics?
I've been into comics since I was
before you met.
So when? Yeah, that's 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
It's been a tough paper round. So my first comic that I bought was Spawn, and that is the character that got me into comics. So yeah, that's kind of my really.
You jumped in on Spawn. Spawn was your entry point to comics.
It wasn't the first comic I bought, but it was the first main character that sort of got me interested and got me collecting and things like that. And I've pretty much collected every issue from what we're up to about 314, 315 now. So yeah.
You have a full run?
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I never really got into Spawn. Huh.
Yeah, it's been a long run.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the Spawn universe stuff?
Love it. I love it for a couple of reasons. One, because I love Spawn, and two, because I know I can sell my Spawn comics for overinflated prices to people who don't know Spawn.
Okay. Do you have multiples and I don't know about Spawn. Are there a lot of variants that are super collectible?
Yeah. So issue 50, issue 100, issue 150, 200, and 250. Those had multiple copies and multiple variants. But I want to ask you a question, Tyler.
Yeah.
I like what you've done with the place. It's nice. It's a nice stream. Whenever you first got introduced to the UK comic community, what was your first impressions?
It's funny. So, like I said, I got introduced to everyone, and I kind of just started finding all of you guys are connected. So it's different here in the US. I think other than like Sith is different. Sith Lordley, who's in the in the chat, and you guys know really well. He is very open to everyone, no matter how big or small your channel is. He invites everyone in. But not everyone in the US is that way. And I feel like you guys in the UK are that way, that, you guys all just want to talk. It doesn't matter, if you have 2 followers or 2,000, you guys want to talk. And I think that's the biggest thing that I noticed with you UK guys is that, James, Andy, Nerd Herd guys, all these people that I found from the UK is like, everyone is just like, hey, let's talk about comics. That's all we care about is like hanging out and finding out about stuff that we both, that everyone likes. So that was something that I noticed right away is that you guys were just very welcoming and you didn't care, where you were from. You guys wanted to hang out and talk. So.
Oh, that's really nice. There's one important aspect that I think you're missing, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
We like to drink as well.
Cheers to that. What are you drinking on, Andy? I saw you drinking something earlier. What is? Ooh.
It's a little Brewdog craft beer, if you will.
Brewdog.
Oh, I thought you were just drinking coffee tonight.
I thought James was drinking some wine. So James, tell me a little bit about how you got into comics, because earlier you said that you don't really like comics, and I don't know.
It's all just a scam. I don't like comics. I'm in it for the fame Pokemon and fortune.
Cards. You just like Pokemon
not
cards,
even.
right?
I like fantasy cards.
Well, you own fantasy cards, so.
No, I do like comics. It's all just a joke. Yeah, probably similar to Andy. It's probably been about 30. What did Andy say? 30 years. I've been collecting 31 years in, and it's just you see comics and you're sort of, they used to sell like a lot of UK reprints and stuff in the sort of supermarket or like local newsagents, like small sort of newsagent shops and stuff, and there was reprints in there. There's a couple of like DC comics and stuff like that I would see and sort of flick through them. But then I think the first sort of comic that I bought in an actual comic shop was a comic called The Tales of the Cyborg Gerbils. It was like a Turtle TMNT ripoff. But that was sort of got me into that sort of going into the comic shop and buying comics, and it's just, that was like the first one that I remember saying, this is my collection, and it's just gone from there.
So here's a question for you guys, because you mentioned the reprints are like, I don't know how it works. Are there reprints that have like the UK, have prints on it? Are those worth less than the original US ones?
I think the US market, I think, has always traditionally seen them as being sort of, label them as foreign reprints and has sort of viewed them as lesser sort of valuable and lesser collectible. But when essentially they are printed from the same printer as the US ones at the same time, they just go through a separate step of having the sort of pence thing put on them and then shipped out to the UK. So they're not foreign reprints, like you get like German reprints and stuff like that, where the language is all totally reprinted. So it's not like that. Yeah. But I think that's slowly changing. I think some people seem to be now hunting UK prints.
I didn't know if like maybe that you guys had noticed that maybe some of the pence versions of these comics were more collectible to like US collectors because we can't find them, or vice versa, like you guys have, US versions that are more desirable because you didn't have them in your country or something like that. I don't know how that works. So that's interesting.
I think it's mostly to do with access to them. It's like you said, Tyler, it's like, if we go to our, LCSs, we'll just see mostly pence. And if we see like a 12 center or something like that, it's going to be overpriced most of the time, or it's going to be in really bad condition. But I guess for you guys, it's the opposite. You know, if you see Pence, then it's something that you're not used to seeing. But
I
you know,
personally have never seen a Pence. I've never.
Oh,
I don't think I've
really?
ever seen. Yeah, I
In the
don't think I've
wild?
ever like
A
seen a Pence.
Pence. Oh,
version.
Pence. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I've never seen a Pence version ever that I know of, but I don't look for them. So you know what I mean? Like maybe it's a thing that we won't. You know, I don't look for a Pence version, but I'm
who's your
sure
favorite
on.
character, Tyler? Who's your favorite character or comic run?
There's a guy back there by the name of Batman that I think
Batman?
James. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let's see if we can make. Let's make James. Oh no!
Let's make James disappear. That is the best idea I've heard.
Let's
in quite a
make
long
James
time.
big. James loves Batman. Is that not right?
I'm a big fan of Batman. He's one of my favorite characters. I think he is such a
So,
well-rounded character. Such a great backstory that we don't, that we always need to revisit over and over and over and over and over again. He's got a great catalog of bad guys, like penguins and clowns and what the fuck. But yeah, no, I'm such an amazing character.
So, I'll be honest with you, James. I'll level with you. I think my draw to Batman has always been his rogues. I don't think that I necessarily identify with Bruce Wayne or Batman in general. I think that I'm more attracted to his rogues gallery, and that I find the Joker, Penguin, Scarecrow, Harley Quinn recently, because I read Harleen recently, and I wasn't a big Harley Quinn before that, but Harleen made me a Harley Quinn fan. I honestly, I just find that Batman is more relatable in that he doesn't have any powers. And I know that there are other superheroes that don't have powers, but growing up in the early, late 80s, early 90s, Batman was everything. Batman was the shit. So,
What's your favorite Batman run, Tyler?
Okay, so literally the comic that got me into comics. So back when I was in college, one of my good friends said, "Hey, you love Batman. Do you read any comics?" And I said, "No, I've never read any comics." And he said, "Here's Hush." And he handed me the Hush run. And so that was literally that book right up there.
Yeah.
Is what got me into comics. And so I would have to say Hush, just because nostalgic. Now, is it my favorite story? No, it's probably not my favorite story, but it is, for me, the best Batman because, Jim Lee became my favorite artist at the time. I found a lot of other really great artists, but yeah, Hush would be probably my go-to because it's so accessible for anybody to read.
Oh yeah, It's good. It's a good jumping on point.
It's exactly, and that's what he told me. He was like, "You should start at Hush," and because you can start from Hush and go forward and start reading, and that's what I did. I mean, I started at Hush, and at that time, New 52 was coming out, so I started with Hush, and I started with the Scott Snyder run, and I started reading Batman, Green Lantern, Justice League. Green Lantern.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tyler. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm a DC guy,
but me at Hush, and then you just went.
I grew up on X-Men the animated series. Just like everybody my age. I watched the animated X-Men series. I watched the animated Spider-Man series. So I love Marvel as well. I just don't have the attachment.
Have you read much Usagi Yojimbo?
What's that?
Have you read much Usagi Yojimbo?
I have read some of it, and
there's a comic you can get behind.
I collect Usagi Yojimbo personally. I'm buying the colored editions that are coming out now because originally it was printed in black and white. I'm buying the color editions, and it's a cool comic to me because I love TMNT. I love again growing up in the early '90s, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the shit. Leonardo's the best.
Like BFFs.
What's that?
You and James could be like best friends.
But he doesn't like Batman, so I can't be friends with him. We can be acquaintances, but we can't be best friends.
What do you think about well-known 1994 produced trading card set, Fantasy Cards. Fantasy Cards. Because
Fantasy cards.
that, my
Yes.
friend, is something that everyone should be jumping on because they are just going to pop off.
You know what
Any
I
point in
heard?
time.
I heard that maybe there was some Fantasy cards was on Key Collector, and it's gonna pop pretty soon because Marvel bought the rights to. I'm completely lying. Nobody buy. Jesus, this guy is always around. Do you see this guy?
I know Seth Lordley. He's just always around, and everybody's chat,
Does he not?
hitting people
Does
up.
he not sleep? Does he not have a life? Does he not? His wife doesn't get angry at him. What is this guy
His wife
doing?
I think his missus encourages it.
What happened, man? The only way I get away with it is my wife is at work right now. So
What time is it with you at the minute, Tyler?
it is 9:00 p.m.
9 o'clock. Do you know what time it is here?
2:30?
Almost 2 o'clock in the
3,
morning.
2.
2 in the morning, Tyler.
So you're just getting started, is what I'm hearing, Andy.
Do you know, and it's Mother's Day tomorrow, all that good stuff. So
You guys don't have any kids, though, right? No kids. So
I have 2 kids.
Yeah, I have 1.5.
mm,
So yeah, it's when is your wife due home, Tyler?
not
And
till
will she blame us for
not
you
till
drinking?
2
during the day?
a.m. 2 a.m. my time.
Right. Okay.
So we've got 5 more hours. So,
So do
5
you
more
feel,
hours.
do you fully plan to blame me and James for you drinking during the day?
No, she did not. She's
Why
not
not?
gonna be home for 5 more hours. I can be
Why
sober.
not? We
in
get
5
to
more
blame for
hours.
everything. Literally the blame for everything. Like we're the UK community bad boys. No, that doesn't sound
Bad
right.
boys.
Do
Bad boys,
you,
but
so
Are you Will
so-
Smith? And I'll be
yeah, who's Will
Martin
Smith
Lawrence?
and who's Martin Lawrence?
I'll be Martin Lawrence. I'm the funny one.
But I thought you were like 6'3", right?
Wow, give or take.
Okay, so here's a question, Andy. How tall are you?
how tall am I?
Yeah,
How tall is James?
6'2".
6 foot.
see, you look the
You're not
opposite.
6 foot.
You
I'm
guys
6
l-
foot.
You're not.
you look
Nice. Play on a
taller,
box, maybe.
and you look shorter. But when
So
I
hang on,
heard
if I
that-
do that,
yeah, there
do I
you
look
go.
taller now?
There
Oh,
you
look how
go.
tall I am.
Now,
Yeah, but more importantly, I'm much more handsome and funnier, Tyler. Is what you're,
that's up to the community. I don't know about that. I'm not
Well,
going to
Seth,
judge.
who do you think's more handsome and funnier?
There we go.
That's not fair though, because like you're the opposite of me during this whole lockdown thing. You've been sort of watching what you're eating and being really good about that. And I have watched what I've eaten. I've watched it go right in here.
I've lost
So-
4 stone in lockdown.
How much is a stone? How many
Stone
pounds
is
that?
what? So that's
14 pounds.
4 times 14 as well.
28 pounds. You lost. Wait, you lost.
No,
2
more than
stone?
that.
4 stone?
4, yeah.
Holy shit!
Is it 12 pounds? Is it? Maybe it's 12
14,
pounds.
14 pounds. in stone.
Yes, Sith. Sith. That's what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Can I just say #fuck spine ticks?
Whoa!
Oh.
Is this about to be
Oh.
a UK versus US brawl? Is it? Oh!
Shots fired, motherfucker.
Did I just start the
Oh, no way.
Revolutionary War Part 2 right here on my stream?
Can I-
Wow.
Can I just say that I want absolutely nothing to do with this?
You're
internal war?
you're with James, man. You guys are ride or dies. That's what I heard.
Oh no, I've
Wow.
never read. Here, listen to
No, listen, I'll take it back.
Wow.
I'll
in my
Sith,
life.
Sith, this is wow. I started. I didn't. What?
listen.
started it.
I'll take it back.
What?
I'll say, you know what? It's fine. Spine ticks is a fantastic.
First of all, James said "fuck spine."
Source.
Hashtag "fuck spine ticks." Hashtag. So
It's
I
never
don't
it's
know.
never going to take. Nobody will
And
follow.
this is from the guy that brought you the likes of Usagi Yojimbo and Fantasy cards. So if anybody is going to dish you in the hood, you don't want it to be fantasy.
Ooh.
Make that guy
Fantasy
big.
Look,
Tyler.
you can't just keep showing hot chicks on your stream and just
My
be
stream no
like,
more.
yeah, exactly. Get me taken down.
Check the straddle on that. It's Lee. So it is. Her name's Lee. And yeah. Not much else to know about that.
As Sith would say, highlight that guy.
You should put Seth's last message up there. Rabbit Turtle Hole. That's
Ooh.
James' favourite pastime.
Hey, I'm so deep in that rabbit hole, it's become a turtle hole.
Yeah. Okay.
Tyler's lost his train of thought.
Yeah, I did because I don't.
Is that because you started a turf war, Tyler?
I did not start the turf war.
Tyler, do you know what? Like, you might come across as this sweet, innocent man, and like you just, you come up in your stream, and James, the 4.5 hours that we streamed on your channel, he didn't say anything negative, and then he comes on his, and it's just.
I didn't say fuck spine ticks. Hashtag.
You just said it there really loudly.
Clip that.
James is the one.
There's a clip,
James at
Tyler,
fantasycards.com.
I'm going to take that clip, and it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Do you think
James
this is
at fantasycards.com.
Tyler thinks this is the start of his YouTube career. This is the first time he streamed, and he is dissing his community.
No, we love. No, we need his Ben asking Group here about his mannequin with satanic mask on the stream. That was hilarious. This was earlier today.
Did you see the thumbnail? The thumbnail that I made for the video?
Check out Andy and James's stream where Root Beer showed off a very disturbing mannequin that I don't want to really see. It was creepy.
Tyler, did you see the thumbnail for that video? I actually put the two mannequins.
Jeez. Oh man. One thing
Tyler,
I did want to go ahead.
I was going to say, listen, I hate to do this to you in your first stream, but I am going to have to duck out.
That's okay.
And go to bed. I'm really sorry.
Okay. It's okay.
I've got these fantasy cards. I need to double check and individually put into their protective sealants, and you got to test these protective bags to see just how protective they are. So I'm gonna give them a good go.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that. I don't know if that was about you or not, but okay. If you want to,
it is what it is.
Shout out what you're going on hiatus right now, right, James, for a little bit, or are you going to stream every day? I heard you say that maybe you were going to stream every day.
Yeah, it was just a silly thought halfway through that bottle of wine, but no, I think that was the stream we did earlier. It's probably going to be the last stream that I do for a while. So there'll be no more fantasy cards. You'll be upset to hear, but I will appear on sort of other streams. I'm going to be on Ben's. If the baby hasn't come before then, I will be on Ben's charity stream on Thursday, dressed up for charity, and yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. As he said, there'll be a celebrity and there will be a musical number. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the crack is with that.
I might invite you on my stream, except you started an international turf war on my stream. So maybe we'll just... well,
then that means I'll need to come on to apologize.
Hold on. How do we turn this guy off? I don't know. I've never done this.
I'll do it for you. Bye.
See you, James.
Just left. No. Well, it's probably a good time for me to say, first of all, thank you, Tyler, for allowing us on your stream. I'm not entirely sure why you would do such a thing. It seems absolute madness and chaos. And this was us sober. Can you imagine if we'd have done this? Well, if we had done this.
You guys are sober. I've been drinking for your entire stream.
Light beer. Yeah. It's not the way. But in all seriousness, it's been good fun. The 4.5 hours that we just spent on James's channel, talking about a mixture of fantasy cards. We had a little bit of comics in there. We spoke a lot of KFC,
and
wrestling. Yeah. It was
A
an
Magnum. A Magnum.
if you want to see a grown man, I was going to say deep throat. That's probably the wrong word. Probably swallow. Attempt to swallow a full like. How can we don't want to say Magnum because apparently that's a different thing.
Yeah, ice cream bar.
An ice cream bar in one. Then you need to go check out the replay on Comic Deals channel. But as for me, you can find me on Perpetual Comics and perpetual.comics on Instagram. I don't plan my videos. I just go rogue, as it were. Whenever I have time, whenever the kids don't need my attention, whenever James doesn't need my attention, and Sean don't need my attention. But yeah, no, it's been good fun. And
Sure.
I'm going to suffer tomorrow because it's Mother's Day here in the UK. So I need to go up, make my wife breakfast, get the kids sorted, and do all those things that I would rather wish I didn't have to do in the next 5 hours.
Definitely. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys jumping on. And like I said before, you guys have been awesome to hang out with and learn about, your stories and talk about comics and everything else. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that I would learn about fantasy cards from 1994 tonight.
Who did, Tyler? That's the thing. Who did? I bet you when you went on to James's stream today, the last thing that was in your mind was, you know what, I'm going to see some semi-nude girls.
I mean, he is just filthy. Just filth. Just filth.
Without even showing the cards, he is a bit filthy, to be honest. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, James was the one that started the turf war. It wasn't you. It was just James Filth comic deal. So let's get that hashtag going. James Filth comic deal.
You know, he's actually had a lot worse hashtags in his life to be fair. That's the least of his problems at the minute.
Oh man. Well,
but no, good luck to James as well and his good wife.
Hopefully him and his wife and the baby and everybody does well. And
absolutely.
Hopefully we see him soon and everything's okay with them and his family.
Not
seriously.
Too soon though, Tyler. We don't,
Well, he has to stream every day, so
just take your time, James. Like, we don't want you to rush back too quickly. A break's good. What is it? Absence makes a heart grow fonder. And I've got Panels and Pints covered. So come over to my channel on the 3rd of.
Some may even say it might be covered better. I don't.
Tyler, listen.
Some may say.
I'll let you say that, not me. But you're probably right.
I didn't say it. I said some may say Panels and Pints will be better without James, but I didn't say that.
Watching, did you see what Tyler just did there? So he started an international turf war, and now he's trying to start an internal Panels and Pints war. I see you, Tyler. I see you.
Okay.
No, thanks so much for having me. Are you going to stay on and talk to the peeps?
I think I'm going to jump off. First stream, 30 minutes that's a good long stream for me. I'm going to make some graphics. I'm going to get on the Panels and Pints level and the Spine Ticks level. I got to get up my game a little bit. Look at this Panels and Pints, man. Hey, we might have to work out a deal to send that to the US because that's a pretty sweet hoodie. I mean, it looks warm. It looks comforting. Not like James
what about the hoodie?
What
about the hoodie, Tyler?
No,
that's enough about me. What about the hoodie?
All right. Thank you so much, Andy. We'll see you guys later. Everybody, check out Andy. Check out James. Check out Spine Ticks. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.